This week on Hashtag Taiwan, I want to talk to you about beef. No, I'm not talking about Taiwanese imports from the US, I'm talking about beef in the way Urban Dictionary defines it, which is to have a grudge or to start one with another person. The story behind this week's hashtag goes back to 2019. Man, judging by how long 2020's been so far, I'd say that's about 5 years ago. Anyway, back in 2019, protests hit the city of Hong Kong. People in Hong Kong were opposing a proposed extradition bill. That movement brought activists together online who came together to form the Lausan collective in support of what they call decolonial left perspectives from Hong Kong. Sir Isaac Newton's third law of motion states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. In this case, the formation of the Qiao Collective. According to its Twitter account, it is a collective of diaspora Chinese challenging US aggression on China. The Qiao Collective defended the Chinese government's crackdown on the Hong Kong protests. If you look at their Twitter account, they do post some pretty inflammatory stuff. So how did people respond to the formation of the Qiao Collective? Some with fire and some with parody, and by that I mean parody Twitter accounts. Back in June, the Diao Collective formed. It's a Twitter account that asserts China did nothing wrong and it's just like a dialectic, man. It's snarky, it's sarcastic, and there's no taking it seriously. But the Diao Collective is not the focus of today's show. Taiwan's Twitterverse was bombed with dozens of other Qiao Collective parody accounts that popped up earlier this week. And by earlier this week, I mean like 3 days ago. There are so many of them, and more are popping up by the day. Nobody seems to have a clear idea of what spawned this trend. There's the Niao Collective, which is themed on birds because Niao means bird. There's the Meow Collective, which is themed on cats because duh. Then there's the Xiao Collective, which focuses on small things because guess what Xiao means in Chinese. And lastly, there's the Liao Collective, which surprisingly does not focus on me, Leslie Liao. You done goofed there, Liao Collective. The sheer number of these collective Twitter accounts popping up is getting out of hand. One of the accounts, I'm not even sure which one anymore, posted this picture of many Spider-Men pointing at one another. Then someone upped the ante and added even more Spider-Men with more collectives with names ending with IAO. And then another Spider-Man meme came out, this time featuring collectives that just sounded like they ended with IAO. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but in this case, I think Spider-Man would beg to differ.